Dodgers fan. I don't really give a fuck about the Dodgers. But this video actually caught my attention, bro. Because it says the Dodger has been this bad in a long time. And I'm already knowing that they playing horrible. Like, I've been in
24 games over 500 and in first place. Clayton Kershaw just hit a historic milestone.
Aren't these niggas like 0-15, 0-20 like the last 20 games, bro?
3,000 strikeouts. Dodger Stadium feels like a scene out of the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Skip ahead 3 weeks. The Dodgers just got swept by the Brewers, aka, and this is a quote from the team's own manager, a bunch of average Joes are now 0-6 against those average Joes for the season, and Clayton Kershaw looks like he wants to retire on the spot.
Shit.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Just like the subscribe button after you hit it. So if you enjoy the videos and haven't yet, consider smacking that button. Like the Dodgers have been getting smacked lately. I mean, what the hell is going on? Well, it doesn't help when the man who owns the second biggest contract on the team has not just been struggling or having a down year. He's been pretty damn bad. And I don't mean Sydney Sweeney bad. I mean Lizzo bad. And I recently made a whole video on this. But in short, Mookie Betts isn't hitting the ball hard. He's not swinging and missing or striking out. He's never done much of that, and he's actually been even better at that this year. He's just not hitting those balls hard with his wood. It's just too soft. And because of that, it's been a struggle that Mookie's never truly encountered in his whole career to this point. It's that bad, and he's lost. For the most part, the Dodger lineup has been as advertised. Tommy Edman is a guy who had a good first month, but completely fell off since. And Michael Conforto, currently in year 4, trying to recapture how good he was on the Mets, is only falling further and further away from that in his first year as a Dodger. Everyone else, though, like, it's either been solid or really good. Shohei Ohtani is Shohei Ohtani. For him to not even have a mention in the new Superman movie, let alone a cameo, is criminal. I mean, at this point, just add him into the DC universe as some Japanese hero originated.
Top tier glazing right here, bro. You're talking about a whole nother grown man, bro. Talking about he can get, add him to the DC, like, why he's not whole. Like, yo, chill, bro. Like,
from Japan. That'd be sick. Anyway, yeah, let me remove his nuts from my mouth to keep talking. Yeah, bro, Ohtani has been ridiculous per usual. The coolest Will Smith in Hollywood is having a career season so far, and this is someone who's never had a bad season. He's only gotten better this year. Max Muncy's been awesome since struggling to start the year. I've always been a Muncy guy. So many Dodger fans wanted him gone, and I'm like, chill out. Well, I was right. Hopefully he recovers well from his injury. Anyway, yeah, so some Dodger hitters like Teoscar have been struggling. He started off great, but has had a couple rough months.
What about Freeman?
Little things like that. But overall, other than really Mookie, the way I talk about this offense, you think, what's the problem? They're great. And yeah, I mean, other than Mookie, there hasn't been anything too concerning with the offense. So what's the biggest problem? Well, let me put it this way. Usually bullpens are supposed to do this to opposing teams trying to score off of them. The Dodger bullpen has done something more like this.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made.
The Astros had a field day against the Dodger bullpen, which kicked off the awful run this team's on right now. Spend July 4th at the ballpark to watch your Dodgers get bent over by everyone's favorite Houston Astros. Doesn't sound very appealing, but to each their own, at least the Astros had a fun time, putting up 18 runs. When another baseball team is scoring more runs off of you than the preferred age of Jeff,
they score 18 runs in one game.
10 runs in one inning. Where's Tony?
10 runs in one inning, bro.
And
10 runs in one inning. How bad can the Dodgers be, bro?
The Astros only had more fun the rest of that weekend. Mookie Betts actually hit a home run in the second game, very rare sight for this season, but Houston battled right back after Shohei left the mound, putting up 4 runs against Justin Wrobleski. Oh! I know, we'll get to that later, but the Astros win this game. Dodgers go ahead early again in Game 3, only to have the same fate. Astros score 5 unanswered runs, 2 of them off Tanner Scott, their closer, who's been as reliable as the people who work the McDonald's ice cream machines. Astros clean sweep the Dodgers in LA. And this sweep looks like child's play compared to what has since followed with sweeps involving the Dodgers. The Brewers saw the Dodgers get swept in 3 games and said, hold our beer, which I know that's like the classic line for that joke, but literally, if there's actually one team where saying hold my beer would make sense, it'd be the Milwaukee Brewers. They hammer Yoshinobu Yamamoto for 5 runs immediately, knock him out of the game. He can't even finish the first inning. Brewers pitching shuts the Dodgers down, and they win 9-1. They at least showed some mercy and scored half of what the Astros did in that other series Series opener. So we're talking a 4-game losing streak now for the Dodgers. That's like, whoa. They did that one other time this year when they got swept by the Angels and then lost to the D-backs, but then won 3 straight. That didn't happen this time, although at first it looked like it would. Shohei Ohtani took the 3rd pitch of the game off Milwaukee's new prodigy, Jacob Mizorowski, 431 feet deep for a bomb. Dodgers didn't do a single thing offensively the rest of this game. Mizorowski followed this up with 12 offensively the rest of this game. Mizorowski followed this up with 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. Brewer bullpen shuts the door while Clayton Kershaw does a good job. It was just really another no-show offensively being the reason they lose. And then Kirby Yates, another important bullpen arm, added to his struggles with a home run given up. Next game, similar story. Not much offense from the Dodgers, and it cost them, but so did the bullpen this time. They had a 1-run lead in the 9th. Time to put this 5-game losing streak to rest. Tanner Scott had other plans. Base hit, tie game. Trevor Miguel makes the Dodgers hitters in the 10th look like they just picked up a bat for the first time before Kirby Yates gives up 2 rockets. One to move the runner Sal Frelick to 3rd, and the other to send Frelick home. Walk off, Brewers win, Dodgers get swept again. They did lose again now in San Francisco, so that's 7 straight losses, their longest losing streak since 2017, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad way to look at it considering how far they went that year. But then you realize the Astros, who ended their year that year in the World Series, started this newest 7-game losing streak, so it's just like, come on, that's a nasty troll. Anyway, Dodgers did what they should be doing, winning the next 2 to win the series, and it was far from comfortable. The second game was 2-1. In the last game, they had to beat a Giants team that had an extra player on their side. You know, teams have 26-man rosters. Well, they had 27 for this game with Tanner Scott. Bro is basically as good as an opposing player until further notice. Dodgers up 2-0. Scott says to hell with this shit. 2-run bomb, but the Dodgers overcome that and win in 10. Okay, series win against a rival. Rough stretch overall lately, but all right, good positive momentum going into the break. Surely that will continue out of it and into the second half. The Brewers said hold our beer a couple weeks ago. This time they said hold our entire brewery. Sit your ass down and watch this. Quinn Priester shuts the Dodgers down. 10 strikeouts in 6 innings, and the bullpen follows that up with 3 more shutout innings. Ball game, Brewers win 2-0. Saturday was a slugfest. Brewers jump ahead 4-0, and it's like, oh my God, are they really just going to run away and win this game too? Not if Shohei had anything to say about it, at least for now. He hits a bomb, and the Dodgers score 4 right back, only for Isaac Collins and the Brewers to immediately answer. A couple innings later, Caleb Durbin makes it 6-4. Shohei does his thing again. Brewers stay on top. Another run. It's 7-5. Make that 8-5. Joey Ortiz goes deep. Although this honestly did feel like a game the Dodgers were going to come back to win. I mean, you don't hit back-to-back homers in the 8th like they did for nothing, except they did do it for nothing because bottom 9, down 1, 3 straight outs. Brewers win again and are now 5-0 on the season against the Dodgers, going for 6-0 in the finale. And this, come on, this had to finally be a Dodger win, right? Like, are they really going to lose every game in the season series against the Brewers? Shohei didn't want this to happen. He keeps carrying the team. 3-0 Dodgers. It's like, okay, this might finally be the day until, no, Brewers put up 3 right after that. Shit. Dodgers go back on top.
They just keep coming back against
this guy.
These niggas,
never hits home runs. It's his first of the season, but unfortunately for the Dodgers, their bullpen was in the game now. Brewers rally for 3 runs in the 6th to take the lead. Then Freddie Freeman gets hit in the hand in the bottom of the inning and instantly leaves the game. Dodger Stadium feeling like a funeral home. Skip to the 9th, they have life again. They load the bases with 2 outs. Dalton Rushing gets a little grounder to Ortiz at shortstop, and he almost makes an insane play to end the game, but Andrew Vaughn at first can't catch it. Ball gets away, a run scores. It's 6-5, and up comes
bases loaded.
I mean, the script has lined up perfectly. The man who had the worst half of a season of his entire life now has a chance to do something so huge, so heroic, and avoid the Dodgers getting not just 3-game swept, but 6-game swept by the Brewers. And credit to Mookie, he did what he needed to do. He hit the ball hard. It just went right to Blake Perkins' glove in center field to end the game. That's 10 losses out of their last 12 games. 0-6 against Milwaukee for the whole season.
He could have had a base and at least tie the game,
Clayton Kershaw had to physically remove himself from the media after the game, so he didn't say something bad. He was so upset. Watch.
I don't make anything of it. They beat us. We need to play better tomorrow. I don't have much to say. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. So let's just call it. Thanks. All right.
Damn, dude, this nigga's tight.
All right, Jerry.
I think there's something very important to note with all this. On paper, the Dodgers look invincible. Absolutely. In a video game or any sort of virtual world or reality where injuries don't exist, the Dodgers are easily the best, and I don't think anybody would argue against that. But the thing is, we don't live in a virtual world or reality. Injuries and everything else that comes with the real world exist. And this also takes me into such a big point I make whenever I go into why the Dodgers aren't ruining baseball by spending so much money and getting so many star players. We're seeing exactly why you can't simply buy a championship. Remember when I mentioned Justin Robleski and how I'll talk about him later? Well, he's just one example of someone you wouldn't have expected to see pitching for the Dodgers before the season started because of how many star players and pitchers that they had. But he is, because of the countless injuries that have been taking place to this Dodger pitching staff. It went through a lot of shit last year, and the problem is only worse this year. Blake Treinen's been on the injured list for 3 months. Blake Snell has been on the injured list for more than 3 months. Roki Sasaki was not at all advertised to start his big league career. His fastball was flat. He wasn't striking anyone out. Hit the injured list in the middle of May and is indefinitely there. Michael Kopech has a right knee issue and hit the injured list earlier this month. Tony Gonsolin, who had already been out since 2023 because of elbow surgery, had right elbow discomfort and has been on the injured list since the beginning of June.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whitaker, I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, God help me. But wait! There's more!
Evan Phillips went on the injured list with elbow inflammation a couple months ago. Brewstar Gratterall, who already missed pretty much all of last year,
what's her weight?
Yet this year because of shoulder surgery. Even the lesser known guys like River Ryan, he had to get elbow surgery. Kyle Hurt had to get elbow surgery. Gavin Stone had to get shoulder surgery. Michael Grove has to get right shoulder labrum surgery. At this point, I feel like I need surgery for something. Like, this is a complete mess. I mean, geez, if you ever wake up in a hospital and the Dodger doctors are taking care of you, you might as well get ahead on telling your loved ones goodbye. You're done. Even Tyler Glasnow, who just came back, he was out since late April because of shoulder inflammation. And now Tanner Scott is hurt. He left the most recent Dodger game against the Twins after feeling a pinch in his arm. Kirby Yates came in and then almost blew it himself. I mean, we're talking inches away as James Outman saved a game-tying 3-run homer by Carlos Correa to barely hold on. Dodger pitchers stay healthy as much as Nick Cannon stays away from a maternity ward. It's insane, but it's also something people need to realize more when discussing the gap in competitiveness in baseball. MLB reporter Jeff Passan recently tweeted this out, and it perfectly paints a picture of how baseball has always been and will continue to be no matter how much or little teams spend. I mean, this is a pretty diverse list of teams in terms of how expensive they are. Money doesn't buy wins. The Dodgers signing Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, Tanner Scott, and Kirby Yates this offseason, as much as people freaking had an aneurysm over it, it never guaranteed anything because it's simple. Injuries exist. Look at Snell, who's been hurt and has an extensive injury history. It's not just this year. There's also just simple regression in players you don't see coming. Look at Mookie Betts, prime example. Roki Sasaki was bad and then hurt. Scott's been bad and now also hurt. Yates, who had a great year last year, it's why he was signed, has been bad. I mean, think about that. Those 4 pitchers the Dodgers signed over the offseason, who so many people were mad about because, they have too many good players. They've all only hurt the team this year.
That's
so
what
far.
happens when you go to
Meanwhile,
LA,
Milwaukee
That's that
Brewers,
LA
a team that
curse,
costs over $200 million less than the Dodgers, a team that their own manager called a bunch of average Joes.
Milwaukee Brewers own the Dodgers, my nigga.
And currently have the best record in all of baseball. Detroit is $200 million less in payroll than the Dodgers. The Cubs are about $150 million less. You get the point. Look, I'm not saying baseball is 100% fair. It's not. But as much as there is a gap with how teams spend throughout the league, it still remains the most unpredictable sport with the most parity. The most random outcomes, no matter how good or bad teams look. People thought the Blue Jays were going to suck this year. I thought that. I'll admit it. I'll throw my hand up and say it. Nobody in their right mind thought that more than halfway through the season that the Blue Jays would be neck and neck with the Dodgers, yet here we are. The Dodgers are not screwed. As rough as this stretch has been, and it's been very rough, we'd be dumb to write them off. Obviously, Mookie will be better. Freddie Freeman, thankfully, isn't that hurt. Like, they're still a really good team. And as for the pitching at this point, yeah, it sucks. They just haven't figured at all how to keep most of their guys healthy, which isn't just a Dodger thing. Obviously, pitchers everywhere are dropping left and right.
You know what it is, too? That the Dodgers, they just mad zesty, bro.
It's to another level with this organization, and that seems pretty undeniable. And it's very clear the Dodgers' plan at this point is to have as many pitchers as humanly possible and just hope at least like 5 of them are healthy enough for the playoffs. Shit, it worked last year. They just have so many pitchers compared to other teams to where, like, for example, if the Phillies lost Zach Wheeler for the season, or if the Tigers lost Tarek Skubal for the season, I mean, that'd be beyond devastating. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are constantly having like 5 of their best pitchers have injury issues at once, and they push through because they pretty much built this thing to where losing even several arms at once won't derail them. It's not a pitching staff heavily relying on 1 or 2 guys at the top. This is as shaky and bad as we've seen from the Dodgers in a long time. So they will break out of it and be fine again. They finally won again, hanging on to beat Minnesota. But this isn't the cakewalk of a season I feel like many assumed it would be for the Dodgers, even though nobody should have ever assumed that to begin with. This is baseball, and even juggernauts like the Dodgers will look really bad at times like these. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye. You ever like cut? It's July.
Man, that was the video right there, man. Dodgers is ass, bro. Like, hopefully everybody that's injured and shit, bro, hopefully they all get better. You feel me? Ain't nobody want to be having to go through all that injury and shit, man. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video, man. You feel me? See ya in the next one, man.